Alright, so what are we starting with?
Hey guys, this is episode 2 of After Hours. Are we changing our name after Stuff Podcast?
I mean, do you have something better than After Hours?
I kind of like After Hours.
After Hours is
Alright,
kind of cool.
Okay, we'll do After
It's
Hours.
like, like a sexy kind of name you go with.
Hey, if you guys make this pop off, we can actually patent pending it and like
Trademark
copyright that shit, and then no one else can use it.
No one can use the word after we copyright it.
But here's the thing. We can't yet because we have 25 views on the old one.
The first
1.
episode.
Yeah, so we can't. And guess what? Now we have to shift out of 1,200 names of After Hours to find us. So, yeah, subscribe.
Like that shit.
Comment. You guys gotta step it up.
Push that bell.
You gotta keep watching.
Ring that bell.
Oh, ring that bell.
Ring that bell.
Make sure you click all instead of personalize when you ring that bell.
You gotta like, dislike, whatever. Comment.
No, wait, don't dislike.
Yeah,
Share.
we don't want
I don't-
dislike.
I
No.
I'm just saying, if they dislike it, they dislike it. If you don't like it, dislike it.
I mean,
There's still stuff.
to each
Can
your
we-
own, but I don't want
Can
dislikes.
we vote Elvis off the island?
Look,
No.
I'm just saying that if we pop off as the most disliked video or disliked podcast in all of YouTube, we pop off as the disliked video.
I'm pretty sure
we pop off, popping off and popping off.
I'm pretty sure like YouTube Rewind 2018 is the most disliked video on YouTube right now.
It's gonna be episode 2 in a bit. After Hours episode 2.
I mean, Rewind has like a couple million dislikes.
We have 25 views.
hey, if all 25 of them, that's 100% dislike.
I mean, we can always like shell
Right.
out for like a click farm in Sri Lanka or something.
Oh yeah, we'll do clickbait titles, big, capitalized.
Big
I
reveal.
can't believe
I can't
she said this.
I can't believe you've done this. Clickbait. David Dobrik, what up? Shout out.
Okay, so I think this is what we normally do. I guess casual,
Yeah,
right?
just
Casual
shooting.
conversation, and this can be casual as well, but
Have
this
you-
has a little bit more of a, I guess,
An oomph.
well, not oomph, but I don't want to say serious either because I don't want to make it a serious
I mean,
type of.
if you want to get serious, we
topic.
can talk about the impeachment.
Oh no.
No. We don't political
Let's just
yet.
go
No politics.
straight
no
into
politics.
it.
No, please.
Politics, not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. No politics.
All right, so our
We'll
topic,
get my sister for that episode.
Oh no no
our
no, no,
topic.
no.
Yeah, I don't know much about it, so I can't really. I'm just.
We'll just let Brianna vent
Yeah.
and rant for an hour.
So this topic came up a little while back, and it was because I don't know. I think we were just sitting around talking about careers and dreams and stuff, and the pressures of being the children of first generation, right? Immigrants, whatever.
Yeah.
We're first or second generation.
We're technically second, but your parents are first because they were here first.
Okay.
Well, no, I thought first generation meant that you were born here. You're first generation.
Well, you won't be an immigrant then. You'll be a first generation American.
Your parents are.
Oh.
Yeah, your
Okay.
parents are first.
I don't know the logistics and technicalities
You
of that.
since you were born here, you'll probably be like the first
Yeah,
generation
'cause-
of American born.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all I know is I can't really say I'm an immigrant because I didn't come from a foreign country and I grew up here, so I can't really say that. But at the same time, I am because I ain't white. I ain't white. I have immigrant family, and it's not like, like my grandpa or my great grandpa,
Your
moved
mom
here.
Came
and
over.
dad.
It's like
It
it's your
was-
mom or dad.
My mom and dad came over here like in the 90s.
Yeah.
In the 90s. They came here, I think like 91 or something.
Jeez, I wasn't even born yet.
I was born in 93. So 2 years.
Oh,
in
they got working
America.
fast.
Hello.
They got
"We gotta
straight to work.
We're staying. We ain't going back.
You can't kick him out. He
Yeah.
was born here.
Yeah. So, I mean, if one of you guys want to start, I mean, I can
Well,
start as well.
I feel like in terms of that, my situation is like different because on my mom's side, we're first, but on my dad's side, because he is American,
Okay.
we're not. But my mom was born in St. Vincent, and it's also kind of weird there too because she moved when she was 8. to New York, you know, so it's like, so
Is that a weird gap in between?
yeah, like where she was still around her family
So
and still like a lot of around Caribbean people, but like she wasn't in St. Vincent, you know, so she became like they're pretty Americanized considering, but on top of that, because our dad is white, we also didn't have like a full Caribbean experience. Yeah, like it feels weird saying experience, but
like the full Caribbean culture shock.
Yeah, like so we had my mom's side of the family, but then we also moved to North Carolina when I was in
home of the South.
Let's
get her done.
When I was like 10 years old, so like we were really cut off from our entire Caribbean culture for like the entire time, which was about like 7-8 years that we were living there. Yeah. So for me, I had like a huge identity crisis living there, you know, because it was like I don't look like any of the people around me, but this is where I am. Like I don't look like them, but they look like my dad. Right. So it's kind of like what I didn't know how to like.
Why don't I burn in the sun?
But that's also the thing. My dad tans really well. He's like half Italian, so like.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he tans really well, but it's like I couldn't figure out how to like mend that bridge of the two sides of my family, like who I was. Right. And also, people just didn't believe me when I said my dad was white half the time. Like they would look at me and they would be like, Nah.
They're like, hey, you got to have something white. Like, where is it? Where is it? And that's where your patch comes in.
Oh yeah, my cracker patch on my pinky. I did not label it that. It was my friend in North Carolina. She thought it was the like funniest thing ever. She was like, "There, it's your cracker patch."
Oh my god.
And she was white, so.
Oh, that's precedent for it.
Like, if you're half white, where is the white in you? Right here, in between my pinky and my ring finger.
So yeah, so for me, I had like a really big struggle on that side, but then when we moved back down to Florida, my Caribbean family saw us as white. I think in a sense, because like my mom is one of her siblings that doesn't have an accent anymore. Like she got rid of that pretty quickly because she moved here when she was 8 and she got made fun of for it and all of that. So she adapted. So her older siblings still have the accent and everything and all of that, but she doesn't. And I feel like my mom is pretty Americanized. Like I'm not gonna lie, she's pretty Americanized. And like even to this day, my cousins will look at me, and if I say I like soca music, they're like, "You like what? You know this artist?" And I'm like, "Why do you guys like think I don't know my culture?"
Because you're white.
But I'm not like really like I still know.
She's like a 0.5 with everything. You're a 0.5. You're half white. You're half black. You're half first generation. You're half not really generation. It's like it's an odd mix for you. And even though we have, I think some other mixed people.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
But most of us are
like just a straight race.
Pure.
You gotta watch that. You gotta watch that.
So
just kidding.
Kids are impure. Just what you're saying?
You trying to say they're Hitler?
No, but I guess I think the experience for you is especially different because even with our other mixed friends, it's the culture is still the same-ish. You know what I mean? You have Mandy with Nicaragua and Cuban.
Yeah, so
you know,
it's like two
she grew up
Hispanic,
with, she grew up with, a Mexican culture mostly, and it's so there. But you have half black, half Caribbean, and then half white. So it's very like almost
very
opposite
different.
ends.
We're a
So
melting
it's
pot of society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely like especially with all like the race stuff happening right now, it's really like it puts me in a really weird position.
I'm sure.
I am sure. I'm playing that white card so fast.
So it's like like obviously when you first look at me, no one ever assumes that I'm half white, and it's always like a shock, I guess, at first, even though mixed kids are becoming like a super like normalized, not normalized because I feel like there's still like a stigma against it.
Common?
But yeah, like more common, like like everyone's like intermixing with each other and what have you. And but I guess it's still like a face value thing that people are like, oh, you're mixed.
Oh, what do you mix with?
Like, oh, what do you mean you're not just
which one of us mingled with the other?
Yeah.
Which one of y'all did it? Which one of y'all did it?
And then like on top of that, like just in general, Black people also tend to be very dismissive of us because we're not dark enough, or they're like, oh, you're half white, you don't understand everything that we go through. And it's like, I may not, because I may have a lighter skin tone than you, but I'm still gonna get crap thrown at me.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah, for sure.
It's a weird, like, there's no real middle ground to stand on.
Yeah. Well, that's why you'll, as well, for you, it's even like not only as a first generation
ish.
and
asterisk,
and as a mixed kid, you have to make, it's kind of like forced upon you to make your own middle ground. You have to make your own ground.
Yeah.
There's no really sides anymore. You just kind of mix it together.
Like, I'm neutral in this.
Yeah, and we're gonna take the best of both, take the worst of both.
True.
But well, what's up with you, Kevin?
I don't know, what's up with you? I mean, I'm not like first generation or anything like that because we immigrated here, so.
Oh,
I can't remember. It was like 7.
Wow.
He's Canadian.
Okay, half.
Canadian.
Half.
Okay, but what? So
half, and it's still North American.
You're Guyanese.
Yeah, I'm Guyanese.
Right. So you can't wait. When you're saying 7, like to Florida or to Canada or like North America at 7. You know what I mean?
Not 7. I came to Florida when I was like 17.
Okay, so you came to North America, like Canada?
Yeah, when I was younger, like really young.
So you were born in Guyana?
Yeah, but I have dual citizenship because I was in Canada for a while.
Wow.
Ah.
Learning. We're learning.
We're learning. You guys have known this.
Okay,
No.
I didn't know that much. I didn't know that part. I thought you were just Canadian.
Yeah.
I'm half.
I didn't even know the half part.
Because my dad has family up there, and he goes up there a lot, and he was from there.
I thought you were like born and raised in Canada. Like,
I would have like a Canadian accent.
And then you
I would say
came
like
down.
"a" all the time.
I don't know.
Yeah,
And a boot and buddy.
Okay,
I
sure.
don't know.
It's
I
true.
do sometimes hear your Guyanese accent, I guess.
Yeah, it comes out when I'm with family a lot.
Yeah. Or like the T's.
The T's, yeah. The T's.
Okay.
Tree.
Tree.
I don't know.
Am I talking about an actual tree or the number tree?
You'll never know.
Exactly. I mean, I guess you could say that with me. Well, I just kind of stumble on words in general.
I'm just stumbling through life.
But I mean, for you, you're actually bilingual. Like that, I think is different.
Like the
than
only language I
having an
know is
accent.
English.
Yeah, like it's still English.
Yeah.
It's just English with an accent.
Okay, so Vietnamese is actually my first language. I've only known Vietnamese up until I was about 5.
Because that's all you heard in your house.
That's all I heard. That's all I learned.
Yeah.
And then I had my parents and uncles and stuff buy me books because they wanted me to be smart and stuff. So they had me learn both. And like I was sitting there like 2 or 3 years old, and they had me write my address, my phone number, the alphabet on like a notepad, and I have to finish the entire notepad.
In
you know
Vietnamese?
what I mean?
No,
in English.
Oh,
English letters.
Okay.
Right? So I didn't know any English. I just knew how to write it.
I just knew how to write it.
English, and that's why I got put in. I think like
ESOL,
right? And they worked with me and like did I guess some sort of like training to get me to speak better English. So I think I did really well. So I think in first or second grade, it just kind of like I just switched over.
Just write English.
I mean, that makes sense.
I don't think straight, but I was a lot better.
You're more proficient.
But apparently, from what Anna said, once you're ESOL, you're always ESOL. So
I don't know about that, but it makes sense because at such a young age, kids are able to like pick up and like absorb things really quickly. So it makes sense that you were able to switch over.
And I had more training. I had a lot of like I wasn't only at school for like 8 hours, 10 hours of the day. You know, I had computer programs, I had books, stuff to read. I had friends that only knew English, so I would
you just pick up every day.
So that was easier to pick up afterwards than Vietnamese, which I did have some like sort of like Vietnamese phonics, you know, so singing, movies and stuff. Everything at home was Vietnamese. So that was basically the
house is the hub for the Vietnamese.
That's how I grew up. I mean, our neighbors and everything, my friends.
They gotta translate for your parents.
Yeah, and once my cousin stuff grew up, you know, it was easier with that because we used it more. So it was kind of like that's how we did it.
That's how we did it.
So
learning with your cousins.
Yeah, but I mean that makes sense though. That if you like in your household you only speak Vietnamese, and then in your outside environment you speak English, and that's what you become more familiarized with because that's where you spend most of your time.
All right.
You know, like your 8 hours of school every day, and then you hang out with friends, you have after school activities, so you're using English a lot more than you would be Vietnamese, even though it's your home environment. Yeah.
I mean, but for him, he has a store too, so he was using Vietnamese and the store as well.
So, when I came down to Florida, I wasn't like the other kids where it was like either parents went to work, we're at home, or we go out like with friends or something, or that kind of got taken away. So like I don't know how else to put it, but I was just dropped into a grocery store.
You were voluntold.
Yeah, when I was 8, so I started being a cashier. You know, and this isn't only me. You see grocery stores, nail salons, restaurants mostly.
Yeah, the place I go get my nails, there's like a 10-year-old behind the counter, and
6-year-old,
I'm like,
8-year-old, like
that's free labor. They're not paying for that.
They're just chilling.
That's illegal.
And technically, it's just they're not really working.
Yeah,
they're
hanging out at their parents' store.
They're just
while they're doing homework.
Okay.
You know,
and that's happen to help customers that come in.
That's
their mom or dad are busy.
That's basically how it was, and interacting with other Vietnamese
people, you know, customers. Watching, because we rented videos as well, like shows and stuff for Vietnamese dramas. Well, I thought it was Vietnamese dramas. So another thing is,
have you been lied to? Was it not Vietnamese dramas?
So once I started, you know, having more access to the internet, you know, once internet was a bigger thing and you could download or watch shows and stuff, I found out that my Vietnamese dramas were just Vietnamese dubbed. Taiwanese, Hong Kong, Chinese, Korean, Japanese dramas.
They're all just voiceovers?
Yes. But I had a feeling when I was younger, I was like, you know what? Sometimes they're talking and
the lips don't match
the
words.
lips just don't match. I'm like, how are they talking like that? And they had like English subs. So I was learning Vietnamese and English from that.
Yeah.
So I'm watching.
So dead.
No, I'm watching like You're Beautiful and all that. And then I watch like You're Beautiful in Korean. I was like, holy, what?
Wait a minute, wait.
What is this? And it's crazy.
There's a glitch in the system.
That doesn't sound like my
language. What the heck is going on? But it was really cool anyways.
That's so funny.
But yeah, I think that's like a main thing with being, I guess, a different culture-ish. Mm-hmm. Like a full, like, super foreign country, like, immigrants coming over,
like way far.
Like with your Guyanese, Kevin. So, like, was English your first language?
Oh yeah.
Really? So it wasn't like is there a language?
It's
like,
English. The main language is English, but there's like 6 different languages.
Oh, I see.
Really? In Guyana?
Because we were like we were basically raped by the entire. We were raped by the British, Portuguese, Dutch, and Spanish.
The politically correct.
Is raped. They came to our land and took everything.
Is gently colonized.
It was not gently.
Well,
The reason why, because they all saw that, oh, El Dorado is here.
El
So let's all go
Dorado.
fight over this piece of country that's here.
My God.
The British won because we were British Guyana for like until
Right.
the early 90s.
Right.
Then we got independence.
Dang.
So yeah, there's Portuguese there, there's Dutch,
But
there's
are they-
Spanish.
Is it separated into like segments like St. Martin is?
No, it's all just one thing.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, there are like little sects, but it's not like cut off or like cut,
Right.
cut
Yeah,
up
yeah,
different
yeah.
people.
Because like St. Martin is like half is French and the other half is Dutch, and like
No, they all.
Oh, that's
they
crazy.
speak French on one half, and then the other half is like English and like Dutch, I think, or something. But like it's
Right.
like split.
That's crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, then again, we're also in the middle of Venezuela and Suriname, so we got like Dutch and Spanish coming in, and
Yeah.
we're above Brazil, so we got Portuguese from
Yeah.
there.
True.
So with the first generation immigrant, if that, leave in the comments if we're saying it right.
If you're a first generation immigrant, leave in the comments.
What's
Let
your
us know your
experience
story.
like?
But I think it carries over just like because you're leaving a country to a new country and you're making all these sacrifices, which most of the time you are, right? You're leaving your family behind.
Family, friends.
Yeah. So that
I mean,
comes
it
with,
was
that
pretty,
comes
it's
with
pretty easy
sacrifice.
for me.
Right.
Because he was young.
Oh, this is gonna sound really bad.
Oh God.
It came really easy because I joined Anime Club.
Ah!
That's where I met
Hey.
most of my friends.
Hey,
Nerd.
It
Get outta
helped
here,
us.
weeb.
That's literally where I met most of all of y'all.
You didn't meet me there. I didn't meet you
No.
until
But I mean, by
After.
extension.
by extension, I guess.
yeah. I think by extension too, because I didn't meet Kevin or any of, I guess, AfterStuff until SuperCon.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
And it was super random,
because
too.
I was friends with Flippy for a while, and me and Tommy were friends with Flippy. So we went with Flippy, and then Flippy knew everyone else, and we're like, "Hey guys,
Hey
Hello.
guys.
I sort of know you. I see you on
Like
campus."
I met Alvis like in his panda Kagurumi in the elevator coming down.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it do.
That's how it do. So wait, did you finish high school here?
No,
Or you-
as soon as I was it was my graduation. I missed it to come here.
Oh, dang.
Wowee. Okay.
So I came here went like straight to college. That was it.
Oh.
I mean, speaking of college, it's kind of like everyone. I guess coming with my other point, with
College
the
is a lie,
sacrifices.
don't go.
With sacrifices, it's kind of
It's a waste. Of money.
as first generation immigrants. It's
Mm-hmm.
do you feel the stresses and pressures that your parents and your family put on you? Because I feel like it's different, really, on an individual basis.
Mm-hmm.
On some aspects, but for the majority, if you're from a family that came from another country and they're settling here, it's kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we did all this, so I need you to be the best of the best because we created opportunities for you, so you need to be using that
Top
opportunity.
tier.
So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
if you don't, that guilt builds up, and you're like,
I feel like yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I feel like for me, I didn't have that because my mom got it from her grandma or from my grandma when they moved here because she was so young and they basically did that to her, and because none of her and her siblings didn't like pursue the careers that she wanted, like lawyer,
Doctor, lawyer,
Yeah.
accountant, the top three.
Well, my mom went for the accountant, but that wasn't good enough for my grandma. But
It's like number 3 out
yeah,
of the top 3.
She's like, I would prefer lawyer or doctor, but like I think because she had all of that like negativity and pressure from my grandma, she let me and my sister, like, as long as we went to college, she was like, I don't care, do whatever you want, just go to college.
she's the breaker of chains.
Yeah,
in
my
your
mom,
family.
my mom really was like, I think she was really kind of like the black sheep in the family because she married not a Caribbean person.
Right.
She
you
went
know.
straight white.
Yeah.
European white.
Yeah, and so like she was, I think, like the more like, I don't want to be the traditional Caribbean, you
Right.
know what I mean? So she didn't push that on me, but I've seen, like, even to this day, my grandma will be making a speech for it's like somebody's
Oh,
like
yeah.
special thing, and she's like, all of my children,
Yep, you gotta play that card.
they're good people, but
That one.
could have been a doctor, a lawyer, something, and you're like, oh my god, it's been like 30, 40 years, grandma. Okay, let it go.
That's so odd because it's weird because I feel that. And I guess me and my cousins feel that because we get pressured to be a doctor, a lawyer, accountant, like really like I guess or engineer, you know, the higher end like high paying jobs, 6 figures, you know. But you don't hear it from my grandma to like her kids, you know, because I feel like
well, because they grew up in Vietnam, so it wasn't really
like she knew what they went
I
through.
mean, they were like foreign people.
Yeah, so they didn't have the same opportunity,
Right,
you know.
so they
but
came
coming
over
here,
here.
they're like, "This is America."
Let me pop
Get
out
your-
11 kids.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
One of them's bound to be a doctor.
my 3 youngest uncles and one uncle and 2 aunts, they went to high school here, and they graduated and stuff, and they're making money. Like my uncle's a contractor now, and with my aunts, they own nail salons. Like everyone's in their own way successful. You know, they're all making money, but like
not in the way that their parents wanted.
I mean, they're all making money, so it doesn't matter. So I feel like when they're like, you know, pestering me about it or like nagging me, like, why aren't you like a doctor or whatever? Why are you taking so long? It's like, hey, you know what? You guys aren't even doctors, and you guys are making money. So like, if I make my own money, if I can make 6 figures my own way, like 6 figures is 6 figures. It doesn't even matter
That's true.
if I'm a doctor or not. And I'd rather make 6 figures doing something I enjoy, or at least I'm
Not
good
miserable
at.
in.
You know, something I like at least. You know, if we're gonna compromise, you know.
Your mom said you're not a doctor. You're making 6 figures to give her a new Mercedes.
Yeah, like I could be doing anything. Like if I'm
Become
just
a vlogger like David Dobrik and then
Yeah,
just
if-
buy
He
everyone
had
cars.
certain circumstances.
if
Okay.
I make videos,
You gonna be
like-
TikTok famous?
no, if I make like vlogs or talking videos, and my gimmick is I'm on the toilet every time, and I get millions of views, and I
Sitting on
make
the toilet?
lots of money doing that, then I'm gonna do that.
I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna do that if that's what
what
it takes, you know, and
If that's what you want, you know.
yeah, and if I want that, you know,
Yeah.
if I want that, I'll do that, and it makes 6 figures. Then it doesn't matter if I'm a doctor. I'm making 6 figures.
I think it's more of a bragging thing. Be like,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is
They would
my
definitely
son,
wanna brag
the
to you.
Oh
doctor.
yeah,
Is
is
my
it, do
son
you guys get that?
neurosurgeon.
Do you guys get that too? Because I think
I mean, I don't get it, but I see it.
the biggest thing with my family, I think with at least Asian culture, I'm sure it extends with parents in general, but I feel like mostly immigrant families, it's like you give, if you're not doing something that they can brag about, or they can say they're proud about, or like share to their friends, like my family's better than yours type of deal, then you're bringing shame on the family.
Shame
and
on
it's like,
you and
wow, that
shame on
is
your
super
cow.
dramatic.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a doctor, so I put shame into the family. How many doctors do we have in this family? Oh, 0.
0. Oh, look at
Oh,
that.
0. Okay. I mean, I don't feel ashamed that you guys aren't doctors. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I don't think my family is really like that because, like, my cousin Angie's the only one who, like, she's a nurse right now. She wants to pursue
PhD.
further in that. Yeah, getting a PhD and all of that. She's the only one that went that route. My cousin Tiffany, she got a master's in statistics. Never want to do that.
Is she gonna be an accountant too?
No, she's at American Express. She does like the probability. I don't even know what she does honestly.
Like risk association?
Probably. I have no idea.
something with stats, probably.
Yeah, something where she uses her stats a lot, and she got a master's in it. And I was like, "Yo, can you just take my stats test for me?" Like that's how I wanted to capitalize on that. But like none of us really became like. I mean, she's really successful, but like my other cousin was the only one that went the doctor route. But I never felt like it was anything pressured on us to become a
Same.
specific
It's what you guys
thing.
wanted.
Yeah. They were just kind of like, as long as you're happy, do what you want. You know, the only thing that my mom pushed was just going to college. She was like, if you, she denies this, But she told me around the time I was graduating high school, she's like, if you don't want to go to college, it's fine, but you're moving out and you got to get a job. I was like, okay, I'm going to college.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Exactly. And I was like, okay, fine, I'm going to college. And when I bring that up, she was like, I wasn't really
I don't
gonna do
remember.
it. I was like,
why would I do that?
Exactly.
You're my
like,
eldest daughter. I would never.
I was like, you had me so scared. I hated college. I'm not a good student.
But you graduated.
I
though.
did, but it was difficult.
And you went to Weebland.
Okay. And
You picked like one of the hardest majors too. Fucking linguistics.
it's not hard. I mean, I slept through most of college and I still passed.
No.
So like, what does that say?
That's what it is. I mean, the culture is just test taking. You do some testing.
And I meant slept through like I sleep in class, like not literally like slept through college. Just throwing that out there.
I
Probably
don't.
did slept through
I
college.
didn't think that, but now it's weird because now it's in my head. That's a possibility. Of when
Knowing
someone,
her, she probably
like,
did.
When, whoa, no, that's not what we're talking about.
Wow, why are you assassinating my character?
Whoa, okay.
I worked my way.
No,
college.
you watch your words with that. You can't say you worked your way through college like that.
Damn it,
Yeesh.
Kevin.
Well, with Kevin, what was it with you? Like,
Go to
you guys, like you went to school in Canada, right? And then you came to
Canada.
Florida when
Canada.
17, right?
Yeah, 17, 18, around
So
that.
you-
I don't remember. Well,
You like
how old I
came
was.
here, went straight to college.
Yeah, basically. It was
Yeah.
like, well, I mean, I spent like a month to, get
Was-
associated.
Was there
Yeah,
was there like pressure about that?
Not
'Cause
really. They're like, go to college, do what you want. Doesn't matter to us.
It's really crazy.
That's
I
mostly
kinda-
my family too. Like everyone's doing what they want.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel
There's no
like
pressure.
the whole pressure thing is kind of like an Asian thing. Like,
Yeah.
I've
Like my
noticed
cousin's like he's like late 30s, like almost 40. He's going back. So
It. Yeah.
Well, it's weird because I mean, I always knew about like I had I didn't have a tiger mom. I had a helicopter family,
Mm-hmm.
but I felt like I didn't have a tiger mom because I was always inclined to do my work to again get A's anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So there wasn't enough pressure on me because they're like, oh, he's gonna do it anyway, so there's no point. And then they were focusing on like making the grocery store like work and getting money for the family anyway, so there wasn't time to be a tiger mom or a tiger dad or a tiger family.
Mm-hmm.
Though some people did end up saying because there's not enough pressure on me that I took so long, and now
I
it's
mean-
just so
I
weird.
mean, it could play a part in it.
I had like a lot of pressure on like just doing well in school growing up, and it still took me 5 years to graduate.
Right.
So
I mean, I got lucky as I was a good student,
I was not a good student.
and I gave the bare minimum.
My first year of college, it was bad.
Oh my God.
It was bad. I like barely went to class, like because the thing is, in high school, like
Right.
middle school, I was so terrified of my mom. I never skipped, never missed it. Like never like, I missed a lot of school because I had like a lot of like health issues or whatever. But I never skipped like class when I was at school, and everyone's like, let's just dip out. I never did it because I was terrified of my mother. And my mom never once in my life has ever hit me. She's never done anything like abusive to me, but that woman scares me. And so even when in college, the first time I skipped in college, I was like,
Right.
my mom's gonna find out. Someone's gonna call
She's
my
gonna know
mom
somehow.
and she's gonna beat me when I get home.
Administration's
I
gonna
was
call.
so scared of my mom, so I never skipped. And then when I got to college and I had that freedom, oh my God, I was the worst student.
Skipped all my classes.
It
gonna
was
in-
really
I'm
bad.
gonna interject here, and you guys ever watch Shaolin Showdown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I forgot his name, the master. I forgot his name, but
Mr. Fung.
yeah. So Master Feng, he doesn't say anything, and then Omi says something like rude or like wrong or something, and you see the next frame just like freeze, and there's like everything's dark, but there's a light from Master Feng's eyes onto Omi, and he just suddenly like corrects his behavior immediately. That's how I felt growing up, and I'm sure you guys felt that too. It was just like
Yeah.
there was. I mean, for me, there was hitting, but after a while, it went to lectures, but it was just like that, like sort of like stare,
We
Yes.
see you.
It's just like pressure.
We know.
That conquers hockey. That spiritual pressure. You're just
Such
like
a fucking weeb.
Oh God.
What my mom
Hey.
did. What my mom did, honestly, she would just count down, and I would immediately stop.
Oh, I wish that worked with my nephews.
But the thing is like, I don't even know why it scared me so much, but she would literally either count or say my full name.
Oh, when they hit you with the
Oh
full
my
name,
God.
you know it's over.
I was like, I
when
gotta
they
go.
hit you with the full name, that's
I
it.
don't. Who is she? I don't know her. Like, I was like, I gotta go.
I don't get my full name used. It's just a loud boy.
Come here.
No, because like it would start like progressively. My mom would be like, Amanda. I'm like, okay, she's not too bad. Amanda Lee, and I'm like, oh,
Oh, you
Okay.
drop your middle name?
okay,
Alright.
whatever. And she'd be like, Amanda Lee Hodges. I'm like, ah. And I'll be like, what did I do? I'm so sorry.
No, and it's just weird to have that sort of intimidation factor as a parent. I mean, it's not that I think it wasn't just my parents, uncles or grandma or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It was just authority. So I hated being in trouble. It was like, crap, I did something wrong.
I feel that.
Like teachers like yelling at me or something. I remember in 6th grade, I cried in my reading or language arts class because I brought gum to school and I wasn't allowed to bring gum, right? And I was
stealing.
yeah, I was getting popular. I was like, oh,
I was
man,
getting popular.
attention. I was
go
like,
gum.
and it was like the good old like the blue like Hubba Bubba, like super tasty, super sugary. And I was handing them out. I was like, hey, you get one, you
He
get.
was like,
They found
I
out.
got all the honeys.
Yeah, and they're like, I was like, Albus, give me that gum. You're not allowed to. And then I got in trouble, and then I just broke down in front of the class. I was like, I am so sorry. I will never bring gum again. I can't believe I did this.
I can't believe you've done this.
You
Don't
know?
call
And
my
then this
mom.
girl that was interested in me, I guess, was like, why'd you cry?
There goes all your chances right
And
there.
I was just like,
That was the
tears
beginning of
rolling
the
down
end.
my face. I was like, I don't like getting in trouble.
She won the bad boy, but
was-
she found the sad boy.
Yeah, it's an authoritative thing. It was kind of like beaten into me. It was like, I mean, of course they weren't gonna hit me, but it was just like yelling or like that. The fact that I got in trouble was like,
Like reprimanded.
yeah, like crap. Like that means it's gonna lead to getting beat later down the road once they find out. And all because I couldn't
Do I
follow the
need to
rules
call-
and bring gum.
Do I need to call CPS?
No, I mean that was probably something that was
CPS
taught.
doesn't scare immigrant parents
No,
at
I
all.
think that's
they're
what-
like, they're like,
Hey,
come
go
for
ahead.
me.
What's the number? Call.
Come
Go.
for me,
Go
go
here.
ahead.
Here,
We're
I'll
gonna be
dial
dead
it for you.
We're
Go.
gonna be dead by the time they get here.
Oh my god.
I mean, I don't think that was really ever a threat so much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
But-
they knew what CPS was.
I mean, but I think it was like the
Yeah,
police.
they
I
knew
think it
what
was the
CPS
police. They're
was.
like, hey, like, if white people see that, like, I was getting beat for getting the wrong eggs one time in public, and I was just getting beat by my dad, and I was like on my knees, getting hit with like a fly swatter.
Oh my
And this
god.
customer
The
was like,
classic
was
fly
like-
squatter.
but like the metal one, and I was like, no, the customer was like, hey, like, you can't do that because it was a Vietnamese customer, and they're like, hey, you can't do that because like, if a white person sees you, you're doomed. They're gonna call
You're
the cops.
doomed.
You're gonna go straight to jail.
Yeah, and so that eventually became less beating, more like lectures,
Mm,
and just making me feel guilty. Which
Oh,
man,
God.
I have a weakness to
guilt
my
trips.
family. Yeah, my guilt trips. But like I realized that, and even though I just kind of pushed through, but I think that's
Mhm.
guilt trips are
They're hard.
The way to get
pretty
you.
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
First they attack you physically, then they
yeah,
attack
I'm
your
sure you
character.
got beat too.
Oh yeah, no, I
Kevin?
did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I can't. I mean, you were a good student, but like, what did you do? You know,
Like, why did
What?
you get beat?
because I was also a good student. I got beat because apparently I'm just also dumb at the same
I'm
time.
just
I
dumb.
got straight A's, but they're like,
Just
why are you
dumb.
stupid? And like, get beat.
Because you get things like the wrong eggs.
Oh,
Like, okay, there was one time at my
Wrong
grandma.
eggs.
I was playing, I think Harry Potter Quidditch on the GameCube,
Fucking nerd.
right? and I'm playing, and I'm distracted. My grandma yells at me.
Damn it, I was doing so good at not cursing. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. I mean, you're already doing pretty well. She was like, get water. No, get salt, and it's muối in
Vietnamese.
in Vietnamese. So I just hear, like, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm distracted. So I grab water, which is nước.
I grab water.
Right. And it's not muối, it's nước.
Yeah, that doesn't
But-
even sound the same to me.
No, but as a kid, you're just distracted and you hear the part and
I was like, oh, this is what she
and
means.
and like
Fill in the blank.
yeah, and I got her on, and she proceeded to beat me with a ladle.
Wait,
And yelled at me and beat me with a ladle.
Is this Elder Dragon?
Yes.
Okay, makes sense. I can see it.
I'm dead, bro.
This is when she had both of her arms.
You don't piss off Elder Dragon.
No.
She beat you with a ladle. I'm so
Like
dead.
when the story that like his grandma accidentally stepped on Andre's hand because Andre's on the floor. Albus looks at him like, don't say anything, just take it. Just
I
don't.
think Andre, she was standing and she stepped on it, I guess. And
was
she was just standing, didn't move. And Andre was like, oh. And he looked up and she looked down. And he was like, okay.
I'm not gonna do anything here.
I honestly, I don't even remember that until you told me. I was like, that sounds like something. Like, you're talking about, like, Conqueror's hockey? That's some, like, just stare. Not even at full strength, just stare. It's like, yeah, you're gonna take that I'm standing on you.
Don't
You
react.
can try to move it, but don't make me move.
That's so funny, bro.
You don't piss off Elder Dragon, man.
I mean, she wasn't even pissed off. She was just, I'm not moving.
No, I'm saying like if
No,
you
just
moved
don't
it,
pi- don't piss her
just,
off.
Just don't piss her off. Don't.
But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like Kevin was like a delinquent in Canada.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, 100%.
That's why he got beat.
100%.
That's why he got beat.
Like one time, I hid under a table and like the tablecloth like hit the ground, like it covered the ground.
Uh-huh.
I hid under the table and my mom went searching the entire neighborhood for me.
The entire neighborhood?
The entire neighborhood. She called my uncles and aunts like, hey, I don't know where
Wow. And you were just chilling
he is. I
under
just
the
fell
table.
under the table.
Wow. You got your ass beat for that, didn't
Oh yeah.
you?
Oh my god.
I almost set my house on fire.
Oh my god.
I lit a blind on
You,
fire.
you were just like, hey, what up?
Yeah,
Just
well,
lit
it was matches, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what this would do. Ooh.
Ooh. I'm dead, bro. That's so funny. You know, actually, no, I'm not gonna.
No, say it. What? No,
What
go ahead.
secrets do you want
Say
to
it.
I
know?
don't want to.
Say it. You know what?
I think there's just stuff where, like, all that hitting and pressures to do well, I think it caused, I'm sure everyone out there, it caused us to be, like, good liars, good, like, hiding stuff.
It's true.
And because we are going to do everything in our power to not get in trouble.
Yep.
Because we know what comes with that.
Like, I'm really bad at games when it comes to lying, but if I'm about to get in trouble, I will lie my ass off and you will have no idea.
If someone wants a character witness, just hit me up. I got you.
Basically. I'll stay on
got
trial
you.
for you. They'll never know.
It's just conditioning. It's like how you do with like dogs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
With lectures, I feel like you have open communication with your mom, so I guess you can get lectured, but like with Kevin, do you get lectures from your parents now?
I get not now, but I
or
used
like-
to.
Because I know at a certain point they transition from straight
yeah.
beating to
They're like, he's
lecture.
too big. We can't.
Yeah,
do him
that's
anymore.
the point was when I got taller than my mom. Like, oh well.
They're like, ah, damn it.
Oh yeah, I got taller than both of them, and I got wider than both of them, and I'm just like double the size of both of them. And they're like, "He isn't gonna do anything. This isn't gonna do
This can
anything
just
anymore."
bounce off. This is not gonna
We
work.
have to play the mental game.
But I usually got whooped more from my dad instead of my mom. My dad was a serious one.
Yeah, I had an all-around whipping. It was just whipping from everywhere, all degrees.
My mom would like tell me things that like my grandma would do. Like she would just basically anything within range.
Yeah,
of
whatever
her
you can
hand,
grab.
just
Oh,
pick
yeah.
up
Whatever you
and
can
just
grab.
throw it. I
Oh,
think she
yeah.
said that they would have to like go into the yard and get their own switch, and I was like, yo, that's crazy. Like,
Oof.
yeah.
Whatever's close by, you can grab. Grab a shoe,
like, that's a-
grab a
Yeah,
pen.
my mom said that she threw like what was it? Like a what did she say she threw at her one time? I don't know. I remember what it was, but it was like really crazy, and I was like, "Who throws that?" Like,
Caribbean parents, man.
I don't think throwing was ever a thing. It was just like we had the Asian broom. We had the feather duster. You know, the one with like the feathers, and then the wooden bamboo stuff. Lots of bamboo stuff. Chopsticks, belts. This one thing that they use for the stick they placed by the washing machine. I don't know what it was for, but it was huge.
I have no idea.
I mean, it was probably
I know what you're talking
specific to my
about, but I know
family.
what
But it
you're
was
talking
like
about.
it was just like a big plank, and we used that.
Yeah, I've never. I don't think I
All
can't
of
even
it.
remember even being
Hands.
spanked. Like,
Hands.
I don't think I was ever even spanked like at all.
Must be nice.
Oof.
Like I genuinely can't remember like if it ever happened.
Right.
Like probably was like when I was really young. But I also was the more tempered child, like better tempered. My sister.
Your sister.
My
Oh,
sister was the
whole nother level.
yeah. It was, that little girl. She would do things like walk off on her own because she wasn't getting attention. Like
I can't wait for her to hear this.
yeah. She talks about it too. She likes to bring it up and guilt my mom with it. She'd be like, "No, like you remember that one time that we were like at my mom was supposed to like be picking her up at carpool, and I remember this was the funniest thing. My sister didn't actually get in the car, and my mom drove without her. And then I looked back and I was like, "Where's Brianna?"
Mom.
My mom was like, "What do you mean? Your sister was?" I was like, "She's not in the car." And we just like looked back at Brianna.
Was she like running with her backpack onto the car?
I think she was just standing there.
Yeah,
But I think like the teacher was like trying to flag us down. Yo, I was like, she's never gonna let you live that down. Like, but then like she'll also do things like we were at the beach one time, bro, with our family, and like she wasn't getting enough attention, so she walked off at the beach, and she was
my God.
like probably like 7 or 8 years old, and met some stranger.
I can
who,
see that.
Like brought her back to the family. I was like, oh my God, you could have been kidnapped. Like, what's wrong with you? She's like, I wasn't getting enough attention. I was like, what the hell?
Jesus.
I can see that from beyond. I can see that coming from her.
Of course, she's she needs constant attention, constant.
Oh man, I don't think it.
And even then, still no beating.
Hey,
It must be
it's
nice.
just some family just do it some other ways. I mean, you guys.
Some
was
played a
terrified
mental
of
game,
myself.
Turned
and
out
some
pretty-
played a physical game.
pretty good.
My mom didn't have to hit me. I was terrified of her.
The mental game.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's like, 2 daughters. I can work with this. I know how they think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how I'd turn out if I didn't get beat. I feel like some sort of discipline was necessary, but I think
Probably.
it could. I mean, it definitely could have
Mm-hmm.
gone without a belt or something.
See, like, because I was still disciplined. Like, my mom was just open about communicating why I was being disciplined.
Right.
You know, like, and so
That's
like,
important.
What? You're not dumb? Like,
guess
you
not.
didn't get the wrong eggs?
But like, okay, so because you guys were both beat as kids, would you do it to your kids now in turn?
I wouldn't, because I also want to be the breaker of chains in my family and my
Elvis
kids.
Stormborn.
I want to be able to discipline them by telling them.
You want to communicate
Yeah, I want to have an open line of communication
so that they will learn to be like, hey,
Yeah,
you can talk about your
exactly.
stuff to
And-
other people.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I want them not to feel the pressures. Like I want them to do well and like some sort of necessary stress. Like you're stressing out a test, you'll be okay and stuff. And just wanting to be better and be more. I think there's a better way to cultivate it than doing guilt trips and like
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
do
Definitely.
mental battles with your parents and stuff. It's kind of like, and it's, I mean, it's better now because I have a stronger mental and and physical fortitude.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't easy growing up. So, what's right now is how like when me and my family communicate. Even though my English is, well, my Vietnamese is worse. I think the communication a little bit is it's kind of better because they're seeing me as more of a person,
Mm-hmm.
and more respect. Like there's more respect going away, and they feel like if they talk to me like a regular person,
Mm-hmm.
that I'd understand and back and forth,
Mm-hmm. Like,
they're still
you're
sort
more
of
than
yelling
just their
because
child.
yeah,
The product.
but it was like it took a while to get there,
Mm-hmm.
and I want that to like
You want to expedite the service.
yeah, I
for your
want
turn.
to have that already, so it's
Yeah.
easier, and we
Mhm.
don't have to work through years of growing.
Trauma.
I want to be able to
You want
work
to pay
through
for
other
expensive
stuff,
therapy.
work
Yeah.
through other stuff
Mm-hmm.
that I had to learn by myself,
Yeah.
and be able to do all that during the years that they are experiencing it
Mhm.
instead of afterwards that I have to learn by myself from
Yeah.
other people.
During the more
not
like
from my family.
formative years.
Yeah, exactly. Because now we're just working on communication. We're just working.
We
on
just got to
communication
this
and
part.
talking, and I'm like in the second phase of my 20s.
Yeah, you're
so,
mid-20s.
So it's a while, and I don't
Mhm.
want that. That's a lot of years gone that they could have. We could have been communicating and talking about life and stuff,
Mhm.
and maybe I could have opened up a little bit more about, I didn't want to hide because I hid what I wanted to do in college.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be in theater. I want to be actor. I wanted to do all that because my passion was like the arts and stuff. I wanted to entertain people, right?
That's a no-no in Asian families.
No, and I knew that, and I kept it from them because I was gonna get reprimanded. And then they found out, and then they basically told me they weren't gonna support me, and that they were, I wasn't gonna make it, and I had no skills and stuff, etc., etc. And that,
so
So they beat you
sad,
down, basically.
honestly.
yeah, and I was like, okay, and then a bunch of other stuff happened, so it's kind of like I had to basically take a break and just figure out what the hell else I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then fortunately I got into, gym, working out, health, and eventually sort of did a compromise where I'm not going to be like a so-called doctor or a pharmacist, but I'm going to be in the health field, and it's something I'd rather enjoy or,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
have some sort of passion with. So, but I still want to do all that other stuff. And the compromise is I do this first and I get money and
can
everything's
do it when
settled
you-
and like, hey, I already did all this for you, so let me do stuff for me.
Let me
'Cause-
write you a
Yeah.
check real
because
quick.
as I grew up, it was like in the end, like, what if they're all gone? Now I'm stuck with whatever made them happy, but they're dead.
Yeah.
How are they gonna be happy when they're dead?
It's
I'm
true.
not gonna be happy,
You're gonna
and then
be-
I'll wind up dead. Like, what's going on there? So what's the what's the point of it all?
The vicious cycle continues.
It's true. But what about you, Kevin? Would you beat your kids?
Depends. I mean, I still talk to them and stuff like that, but it depends.
Mm.
Maybe like something
Yeah.
really bad.
I
Like
mean-
if he
Call
or
him
she
CPS,
comes
I'm watching
if
Kevin.
he or she comes home with like the cops behind
Yeah.
them,
I mean,
now I'm like, all right, hold on, wait.
I mean, we all have nephews, right? Nephews and little cousins.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I transitioned from like, I did like hit them because that's how I knew how to discipline. And then it was just yelling, and then now it's kind of like as I got older with other people's kids and stuff, it was kind of like, now I know slowly how to talk to them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's like a time, especially when you're a kid, there's like a time frame where you have to discipline them, or otherwise they're like,
They're gonna do
what's the
whatever they
point?
want.
Unruly.
Because like apparently as children, there's like a window that you discipline them there. If not, they don't know what the hell they're getting disciplined for because they
Yeah,
forget. There's like
exactly.
a window.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
That's why
I
when you
get
put them
that.
in timeout for like an hour, they're gonna be like, "Why am I still here? Like, what the?"
Yeah. So
My cousin's kid go to tap her by herself. Like she would do something bad, and we would tell her like, "This is bad. You can't do this." And then like, "Do you want to go in timeout?" And she'll walk away and go sit in the
See,
corner.
That's so cute.
That's so
Like, "Do you want to go in
cute.
timeout?"
So
It's like,
cute.
"Okay, walk away and go in the corner."
Yeah. So
Put
I mean,
herself in timeout.
it depends.
Like
I
we
thi-
tell her what's wrong. Like we
Yeah.
explain like, "You
Mhm.
can't do this. You're not
Yeah.
supposed to."
Like genuinely for me communication is the biggest thing,
Mhm.
because it's like if you treat kids like they understand
Right.
and that they like you treat them like how you would talk to anybody else, they'll get it.
Yeah.
Because they're absorbing everything. So
Right.
if you talk to them like, hey, let's have a talk about this so you understand why this
Right.
isn't okay to do, they'll get it. It may take a couple of
Right.
times, but they'll get it.
Yeah. And you want to do it in front of them too, like do it with other
Yeah.
adults.
You want to explain them what they did wrong.
Because they see that.
how to
Like,
correct
if you're
themselves.
having an open communication and conversation with other adults, they'll see and they're there. They see that and they'll want to do that. And if you're practicing it with them as well, then that's all they grew up to know. So it's like, wow, like this is how I communicate instead of like hitting each other or like screaming or hiding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think with that's I think what we both want to, I guess, stop the cycle. And I mean, I think all of us as first generation, we want to stop the cycle with all like the bad stuff. We want to keep our traditions and
basically.
cultures.
Yeah,
You know, like
definitely.
Kevin, what's something that you want to like hold on to, but like break with like your
Hold
if you
on
have
to, but like break.
yeah, like what sort of traditions? Because I want to like keep my language. I want to like not so much the pressures, but like our tradition, like New Year's, and our like family oriented, or our food and stuff. I want to keep all
Yeah,
that.
no, definitely. We can keep food and all
But
that.
like the other traditions per se, like hitting a kid, or like or like having something to brag about, like having like save face or whatever. I'm not gonna take that. I don't care if the whole like street sees me as shameful. I have a good kid, and we have great communication. So if you think our kid is shameful, or they brought shame on the family, like I don't care.
That's your problem.
that's your
Like I don't care.
Yeah.
We're good. I know what they are. I know who they are. So we're good to go.
Yeah.
I mean, for like tradition wise, mostly just like all the Indian like holiday stuff we do. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Elephant.
No. Elephant.
Can we all ride an elephant?
I mean, you can.
That's animal abuse.
Is it?
What if one of us can talk to them? They're like, "Hey, is this animal abuse?" And they're like, "I don't know. We'll meet someone that."
Magically talk to elephants.
Yeah,
Get out of
Dr.
here.
Shmoolittle.
Shmoolittle? What the?
Well, they keep all like the Indian traditions, stuff like that, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
culture-wise, clothes, all the religious stuff,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah, for sure. It's like the continuation of the dream. I feel like our parents had, like where they just want a better life for us, but you have to adjust it to what you personally believe.
Because what's a better, like, it's subjective. What's a better life? Like, there's some
Hella money.
I guess objective stuff.
Hella
Yeah,
money.
like successful is you're not struggling.
Yeah.
You know, because the last thing because I get it, the last thing they want to do is see you struggle, because they struggled. They came over here so that they stopped struggling, and here you are struggling. So they don't want that. And the safest bets are all those big stuff. But if they don't see you struggling anymore, they'll come around. And that's what I've come to realize. And I've come to realize that they're just us. Like, my dad was like 20 something, maybe 24, 25 when he had me. I can't imagine.
You.
I'm 1 year older than my dad as of right now, when he had me. So I can't imagine having a kid already, and then like all this other pressures that he had. Like, he has the first kid of the family, and he's the first.
Yeah, he's the eldest, right?
Eldest, and all this other stuff, and then he just wants to have a successful, like, kid, and it comes down to a lot of different stuff, that. But in the end, I'm sure at everyone's core, it's like, as long as everyone's doing okay,
Yeah.
they're.
You don't have to struggle. You don't have to worry about.
Like, you doing
certain
okay?
things
You
popping
worry
up.
about money? No. Cool.
Yeah.
All good.
It is weird though that we're at the age now where everyone looks at us like, "You getting married?"
And it's
Have
normal.
kids?
And it's
You have
normal.
kids?
It's normal. Like
Like,
you need to like bring that back.
But think about it. Everything's getting older,
It is.
Because back
Yeah.
then, that "are you getting married" is like at 11 years old. Think about it. Back then.
I mean,
back then
in
you had
some parts of the
back
country,
then,
that's still happening.
Equivalent of 401k was like, you now have a barn, and a farm at 20.
Hell yeah, I'll
And you're
take
retired,
a barn and a
you're
farm
retired
any day.
You're retired because you're dead at 23.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just like, I don't know. Most of my friends already have kids like that are like 2-3 years old, and I'm like,
You're next.
with who? Baby Jesus.
If y'all want to hit up
Clean
Amanda,
these baby Jesus.
we'll leave her
Shut
Instagram
up. Don't
handle
plug me
in the
like that.
description.
Shut up.
Sign those DMs, hit her up.
Shut up.
Let her know what's popping.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's weird because like I see my older cousins and they have kids, and like I'm an adult now, so even though I'm like the youngest grandchild, you know, like the youngest cousin, the second youngest, I'm an adult now, so they're all kind of like, "Oh, Amanda,
When are you bringing home
You're
little
all-
Amandas?
yeah.
Wait, you're one of the youngest. I'm one of the oldest.
I'm one of the
are
oldest.
You're one of the
I'm one
oldest.
of the oldest.
Okay, because I don't know why, but I didn't imagine you as middle. It was either like the oldest like grandkid or a child or like out of the cousins or like the youngest. I feel like it's either. I don't think
You're
I
not
never
a
saw
middle.
you in
There's
the middle.
18 of us.
Oh my god.
Hey,
yeah, there's
hey,
only 6
hey,
of us.
I hear you. I hear you. My grandma had 9 kids,
My grandma had 11.
and then the
My
other,
grandma had
and that's one
5.
side. The other side had 8.
The other side from mine had, I think.
Oh no, 7.
Yeah, I think the other side from me had 7 too.
That's crazy because that's how my grandparents' generation is. Like my grandma has like 8 siblings. My papa had like 10.
That's how my. That's the same for me too.
But like their kid, like my grandparents only had 5 kids.
No, grandparents had
But
11.
even just saying only 5 kids,
I know.
I'm like, oh
Yeah,
my god,
that's-
I could
I'm
never
like-
have 5 kids.
I'm like 2 to 3 is already a lot for me.
3 sounds like a lot. I'm like, I can have 2, maybe. Like that's pushing it.
I'll have 1 to keep on the tradition of only childs in my.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
okay.
In my
That's a
only
tradition you
family.
want to carry
That's
on.
in my
why.
only
So-
family.
So that's a
That's
tradition.
why you're such a pain. You're
So
an
you
only
wouldn't-
child.
What do you mean I'm such a pain because I'm an
So
only
Kevin-
child?
You're an only child.
Wait, you've known this.
Well, I knew that, but it was I think
If I had a sibling, I would probably be hanging out with them and bringing them around.
Okay, I have a sibling, and
Your sibling.
I also
12.
have a sibling. I have 2,
my
and
sibling is
you don't see
19,
any of them.
first
She's
of all.
12 in my mind, so
I mean, we see Tommy sometimes.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
Tom.
I guess for me it's a little
It's-
bit more
it's
common, but
you.
not definitely.
Yeah, and even if
Yeah,
we
I know.
invite him and he has
Oh
time,
no,
probably
it's
welcome
not
him.
just me. You guys
I'm
invited him too.
kidding,
He's like,
I'm
nah.
Yeah, he's like, nah.
Hold on. He's like, ah. No, if I invited my sister, she'd be like, why?
What? Why am I hanging out with all you old people?
Right, I get it.
It's funny. Sometimes hanging out with her is funny because I'm like,
Well,
I feel
you
so
wouldn't think.
disconnected.
Wait, you wouldn't think if you had a sibling that they would be the same way. I
Like-
feel like they'd
like
be the
me,
same way.
as me.
No, like that they'd be the same as Brianna and Tommy. How,
Like they don't want to come around.
They're like,
our friends.
no
Like
thanks.
it's not.
I don't know. Depends
like
on the
their
age.
friend.
Depends on
Yeah,
the age gap.
I think there is a pretty
Like
big
if
age gap.
if the
like-
person if he or she's like 1 year older than me, I'm pretty sure it'll be fine.
Yeah,
Or
like
when
a
you're
year
younger,
or
it'll be
2,
fine.
Yeah.
I
But,
guess
like-
it depends on the how the bond is. Too.
Yeah, I mean, like me and my sister are really close, but we're 5 years apart. We're pretty different,
Yeah.
you know. Like
Yeah.
I swear to God, we're night and day.
Yeah. me and my little brother are only 3 years apart, and we're pretty different as well.
Yeah.
And we're definitely not as close as you
Yeah,
and Brianna.
but I feel like that's also like a girl versus guy thing too.
Guys
Like-
don't show emotion.
Ooh, that's our next. That's our next.
Stay tuned for
Toxic
episode
That's our
max-
three.
next
masculinity coming up, episode 3.
Masculinity. That's our next topic.
Ooh, let's dive into how.
We're gonna high
Toxic-
five both of us.
No,
Was that
no,
it?
no.
What is that?
Let's dive into how toxic Caribbean men are. Let's do
Alright,
that
let-
next
Oh,
time.
I think-
Look at
Let's
the
do that
time.
next
Let me.
time.
I think
I'm
that's
gonna
a
feel.
lot.
I'm gonna feel
I
very
think-
attacked on that
I think
one.
there's a different sort of thing with Asian men, but we'll get.
I
to
think they're
that
pretty
next.
similar with Asian and Caribbean.
Yeah.
Because a lot of
Yeah.
like Asian people went to the Caribbean
There's
too.
lots
Like
of machismo
Jamaica's
stuff.
full of like Chinese people.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so
All
that's
right,
gonna be
guys.
next episode.
Next
episode.
We got
Let's
episode
wrap
3.
this up. Thank you for listening. What do we usually say?
Stay crunchy.
That's Crunchyroll's tagline. We can't
Oh,
use
we
that.
can't use that.
Damn
Stay
it.
crispy.
Stay crispy.
No, we can we use that? Stay sprinkly.
Sure, let's go with that. Stay sprinkly.
We'll stay something.
Stay-
Or we wish you a
Happy
Merry-
Happy holidays. Happy holidays.
Oh,
happy
yeah,
holidays.
holidays.
Merry
Political
holiday.
correct. Happy holidays. Happy holidays.
I think there's a few signs here. What else can we say? No sugar, no artificial sweeteners,
Oh my
contains
God.
caffeine.
Not sponsored.
That could be anything.
That could be anything.
But that was Zevia.
All right.
Sponsor us.
Oh my God.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Later.